What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at the Fluentalk T1 Portable Translator. Taking a look at the specs, this has the ability to translate 40 languages and 93 accents with 95% accuracy, offline translations for 8 languages, complimentary 2-year cellular data plan, and internally it has a 4-inch HD screen, quad-core processor, a 8 megapixel camera, 3 gigs of RAM, and 32 gigabytes of internal storage. Taking a look inside the box, you get the manual and a SIM card tool, USB-C charging cable, carrying strap, and the translator device itself. Looking at the device itself, this is a very sleek and modern looking device. From a quick look, it actually looks very similar to most modern folding phones. It's flat on this side and then it's rounded off on the other. It's very lightweight, but also feels very well made as well. Looking at your buttons, you have your 2 translator buttons over here and the power button. Then on the other side, you have your SIM card slot and then your volume up and down button as well. Lastly, on the bottom, you have your USB-C slot, a speaker, and the microphone. And then on top, you also have another 2 microphones. So I've been using this translator for about 2 weeks now just to mess around and learn different phrases in different language. And this thing works very well. I've tried a few other translators before, but this one hands down delivers the most refined and user-friendly experience of all. With others, I had to read the manual to figure it out, but this one is so well laid out, you can just pick it up and instantly know how to use everything on it within 10 minutes or less. So turning the translator on, this is a very good screen. There's plenty of brightness and contrast, and overall it just looks like any other high quality cell phone screen. Here on the main page you have your time, and then at the bottom you have 2 quick commands, which are your one-click translation button and photo translation button. The one-click translation basically goes into manual translate mode, and as you can see here, this button will be to translate from English to Spanish, because that's where I have it set to right now. And then this one up here will be to translate from Spanish to English. So very helpful that you don't need to go guessing around what button is which. It actually tells you on the screen what each button is going to do. So let's go ahead and give that a try real quick. Hello, I'm lost. And as you can see, translated me to Spanish, no problem at all. These buttons I just mentioned, they're also quick start buttons. So without even turning on the device or clicking anything on the screen, you can just click one of these and it'll automatically start translating for you. So click it, and as you can see, it automatically goes to that screen. Well, it's actually listening to me now, but you can have this off in your pocket, pull this out, and hey, how do I find the nearest train station? So very cool and very handy that it has that feature. It makes it very simple. Where other ones you gotta turn it on and dig through the menus and do all of that. This one you just click a button and it automatically starts listening to you. And then if you're in this mode, if they say something back, you can just hold this down. And this part, it'll start listening for Spanish and translate it to English. All right, coming back to the main screen, let's go ahead and try out the photo translation. So first up top, you would set what language you're translating from, what language you're translating to. Right now I'm going to translate a Chinese image to English. That's what I have it set to. And then I have this photo on my computer, which is a caution sign. It does already say what it says on the bottom, but that'll help us see if this actually translates properly or not. So let's go ahead and snap a photo of that. And there we go. Watch out for platform gaps, but I guess in English they just simplify it and put caution gap. So as you see, translates very well, no problem at all. Picture quality actually looks pretty good as well. As a bonus, beside the camera, they also have a flash on here, which is surprisingly a lot brighter than I thought it would be. Right now you can't see it very well because I have very bright lights shining down over here, but as you can see, very, very bright light. So besides having your translator, if there's a sign somewhere and you can't see what it says or it's dark and you need help for the camera to see it, just switch on your light and you'll be able to photo translate a lot easier as well. Coming back to the home screen, if you swipe to the left, you'll see this screen here, which is completely customizable. and shows helpful data relating to where you might be. Up top, you have 2 clocks, which you can change as well. Right now I have it set to Paris and then my home city on the right. Coming to the center, it'll show 2 different currencies. This way you can easily know the value of your home currency compared to wherever you are currently visiting. As you can see right now, I have it set to USA and France. It tells me here $1 is equal to 0.939 euros. This is also regularly updated as well. So if this happens to change for whatever reason, this is getting pulled from the internet to get an exact conversion that you need right there and then. Swiping to the right, this is where you have all your different functions. Before we dive into any of this, I just want to go to settings and show you one of the coolest features I think this translator has. So up top, you can see we have 2 years of free data. I've used translators in the past that rely on your phone's Wi-Fi data, which to me kind of defeats the purpose, as you might as well just download an app if that's the case. But with this one, you have the ability to use it standalone on its own. Beyond the data, since it does have 32 gigabytes of data, you also have the ability to download and use 8 languages offline. So even when your data expires and if you don't want to renew it, you can just download the languages onto the device and once again not have to rely on your cell phone. So coming back to the main screen, you have quite a few different functions here, and first one we have here is ask for directions.
Excuse me, can you help me? We can use this translator to communicate.
So right now it's set in English, but if you're in another country, this will display in French or whatever language, and basically this will be an easy way to start off the, hey, I have a translator, come over here and help me out. So if you come down here, you can actually change the phrases and add your own custom ones or set one as default. Let's go ahead and set this to default. Where can I buy food? So now whenever I click that, it's going to ask them, where can I go to buy food? So very cool and very handy to do some quick phrases that you know you might be needing wherever you are at the time. Coming over here, you have chat translation, which is another very cool feature and also unique to this translator. As I said earlier, they have a microphone here on the bottom, another different one here on top. So in this case, it actually detects who's talking where. So right now, if I'm speaking English, I'm going to be talking on this side, and then the other person, it's going to detect them talking into this side. And it's going to automatically read it and translate as we have a communication. So you can go ahead and just place this on the table. The other person will be sitting over here, I'll be sitting here, and we can just talk without pushing any buttons, and automatically it's going to do the job of translating. So very, very handy. It's almost like having your own personal translator present. Very helpful, very cool to use. Hello, sir. Where can I buy tacos? So you see, it also shows him the text flipped on his side as well. Let me go ahead and stop that because it's listening still. So yeah, it'll show him what I just said on this side and say it to him. And then over here, if he talks, it's going to show me what he said. Also read to me as well. Coming back to the main screen once again, the next thing you have is listen mode. This is basically the simplest way to describe this would be eavesdropping mode. So if there's someone over here having an argument or someone screaming at you, or whatever it may be, you basically click on this and it's going to start listening and it's going to tell you what they're saying. So it'll start listening out, but it's going to tell you without saying it. So it's only going to read to you what they're saying. If people are over there arguing, big drama going on, and you're sitting there, the confused foreigner, you don't know what's happening, you just click that button and automatically you're thrown into the loop and you no longer have to be a spectator who doesn't know what's going on. This will also come in handy if you're watching a TV program that you don't understand at somebody's house in Spanish or whatever. Same thing if you're somewhere where someone speaks a different language and they seem to be laughing about something and making jokes and you're like, hey, maybe they're making a joke about me. Maybe they're talking smack about me and you don't know. So you go ahead and click on your translator and all of a sudden you know exactly what they're saying. Then over here you have voice memo, which is very straightforward. Leave a voice memo, which also translated for you as well. You have the user guide. Coming down here, you have common expressions. So depending on where you are, what's going on, you can go ahead and click this and find quick phrases to tell someone. So right here we have Spanish, urgency. How can I get to the nearest police station? I lost my passport. Can you call the police? So if you're in an emergency, you go in those, click it and someone can help you. Traffic, excuse me, the train I want to take will be leaving soon. Is there a fast track to get on? Hospital. Hello, I am ill. Where's the nearest by hospital? So more stuff for hospital. So these are all a bunch of different prompts that you can use really quickly depending where you are. Does this hotel have free Wi-Fi? Restaurant, table for 3, and your restaurant open? How long do we have to wait? Why do you have bad reviews on Yelp? Etc, etc. So very helpful to have these. And then over here, another cool feature, you have the SOS screen. So if you're in another country and you have an emergency and you don't know what to call, not everybody has the number 911. So if you're in Colombia, if it's an emergency, you're going to dial 123. Well, personally, I had no idea about that. I would have just called 911 and my phone would have just gave me an error. So depending on where you are in the world, tells you the emergency number. So if you're in France, you're going to dial 15. Italy, you're going to dial 118. So for us in the United States, we're going to dial 911. But if you're somewhere else and you have an emergency, that's where you're going to go to that SOS button. Overall, this is by far the best translator device I have used so far. I can see a lot of time and effort went into making this device and interface, as it all just feels very well done. So if you are looking for the best of the best when it comes to translator devices, the Fluentalk T1 is definitely the device you want. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.